Hey guys, I don't know who else is on here yet. I made it. I made this a Google on air because that was the only way I knew how to make it a YouTube video that we could hold on to and look at if people had questions later. Hey Joe. Joe, how'd you get on here? Did you click on the link that I sent you? Hey Joe, I can see the hawk, but I don't hear you or see you yet.
Morning.
Hey Joe. I hear you and see you, yeah. Joe, how'd you get on here? Did you click on the link that I sent you?
No, the link was to view only. I was on Google Plus and it popped up, Don and Danielle are in a Google Hangout. Do you want to join? I don't know why it did that, but that's how I got through.
Craig in here. I'm sending him the invitation.
Very good. These things are always a little confusing to me. I don't know why. Get started.
They are. They're confusing to me too. I don't hear you or see you yet. Right now, I'm kind of getting a delay. Hey, Joe. I hear you and see you, yeah. Joe, do you have it on YouTube also on your other computer?
No, the link was to view only. I was on Google Plus and it popped up, Don and Danielle are in a Google Hangout. Do you want to join? I don't know why it did that.
Do you have it on YouTube on your other screen? I'm sending them the invitation.
Oh, I do.
That's why I'm hearing it. Turn that off. Turn YouTube off.
I just did.
That was the only way. That's the only way I know how to capture it in case somebody wanted to see the video of it later.
Right. Well, after this intro, they're not going to get to the substance of it.
I keep sending it to Craig. I don't know what's happening. We're live. This is YouTube, so somebody could see it. But right now it says 0 viewers. I don't know if that means 0 viewers. I think you could put it on YouTube and then mute YouTube.
Oh, interesting. Let me try that while you're.
Try that. Because if you were doing a Google Hangout like that.
I do. Yes.
That way, if people put questions in on YouTube, that's the way I know how to capture it if you want to see all of it later. So I just muted mine too. So
and
it's a little confusing because now you're still seeing yourself over there.
Oh God, is that really what I look like? This is terrible.
Yeah, that's the thing in the 21st century. You see yourself on video all the time.
Yeah, I don't
You have a totally different understanding of what you're all about.
That's the truth. I have to say, this is not the most flattering camera.
Assumptions that you used to have about yourself, your life, things, they've been totally exploited. They're right. You've been totally stripped of any assumptions you've ever had about yourself.
I went to Barbara's office. I told her she was not there, but I told Bernadette that if she wanted to get in, I would help her.
All right. We'll see. It looks like nobody's going to be in. I don't know if Craig's going to make it.
All right.
Wow, I just tried to open up my lower third. It says this app requires features of Google Plus Hangouts that your computer and browser don't support.
Are you in Chrome?
Yeah, sure I am. I hope so. I think so. You're not going to be able to get on this with that unless you're in Chrome.
No, I think I'm actually in Internet Explorer.
You are? I wonder if I am. I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, now YouTube says 2 people are watching now. That's me and you.
Right.
I'm pissed that I can't turn on my lower third.
How do
Do
I?
you know,
How do you do that? The lower third. Where is that?
you have to open up the Hangout toolbox.
Yeah, I got it. There it is.
Mine's telling me it's not supported. Can I tell you, when I went to YouTube, right, it wasn't letting me stream this, and I got all these like things I had to click on and go to.
Why?
Told me that on 2 occasions I can't remember what it called it. I was found to be streaming tagged content. I'll bet that's from that poetry thing. And it said if my account does that again, it's going to be shut down for 6 months. I won't be able to stream live again.
What?
Because of the music, they're copyrighted music. That's crazy.
Oh, interesting.
They really get you.
Yeah, definitely.
Hi, Barbara. Yeah, do you see us on YouTube? I can't get. I don't know what Craig is though. That's okay. I don't mind that. I know I'm on. Yeah, thanks. In a minute, you're going to see me pick up the phone and talk to you. Yeah. I don't know what Craig is. We could talk together about it ourselves. I put it on YouTube because I thought that we might want to, like, if I didn't know if you'd make it, so I thought later on you might want to see the conversation I had with this guy. He said he's done 3 of them. That's funny. Can you hear me? I don't have my sound. Say something.
I hear you fine. Oh, man, we have to have a hangout on Talk Like a Pirate Day.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That would be awesome.
That's on Effects, right? Yeah, Effects.
Talk like pirates and wear this outfit. This is funny.
I think I am Flora because I tried to do the clown and saying that's not supported either.
Yeah, something's wrong. Although there are times where it doesn't work on mine either, and I'm kind of surprised that it is working now, so I don't know what the story is.
Okay. Barbara said, that was Barbara on the phone. She called me to tell me that she wanted to remind me that we were on YouTube because she can see it.
Yeah.
Said it's okay, we know.
You know what? Next time I'm thinking about the poetry hangout, and I guess for next time we'll have to like have the band record stuff for us, right? Although
yeah, we ditched the whole music idea just to make sure that the link wouldn't get broken again. Yeah. That's how we eventually did it.
I make a good pirate. I'm just watching myself on YouTube. I make a very good pirate.
You do make a good pirate. You're an awesome pirate.
I appreciate that.
I'm gonna tweet at Craig and just say what's up. See if he can make it.
Sounds good.
These are imperfect sciences. These Google Hangout arrangements. Should have got his regular email. I'll send him the links, which are at the bottom right. You can find the links. I'll DM him the link. All right. One of the things that I think is just to actually have this conversation. I think, and I noticed it yesterday, that the novelty of interacting with people who aren't from your school, I think that kind of enhances EdCamp, and that might have been one ingredient yesterday that might have ramped it up a bit.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, so which will work for us if we have our folks interacting with high school folks.
Yep.
That will put that level of novelty into it. But I think that's a piece and that happened in Long Island on Saturday. Was that is there an earthquake happening on the second floor that I'm not aware of?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, there is. Thank you for calling that to my attention.
Our viewers on the West Coast. No, they're not allowed.
Sorry about that. No, I agree, and I think you're right. As long as the schools, I wonder if the people will tend to cluster, by school, by department, by level, and all go to similar or the same sessions, and therefore, interact only with people with whom they're comfortable. That we might see that. I don't know.
How much do you think that happened yesterday?
I think it happened. Yeah.
I think loyalty. I think people want, and we even did that on Saturday. I think you tried to get to people's sessions that you knew. I made sure I got to Andy's. I wanted to drop in on Dennis's. So I think based on that, I find myself jumping around maybe more than I should have.
Yeah, I tried not to do that. Even though I wanted to be a participant. I wanted to see what it felt like to go through it, even though I had been involved with the planning. So I tried to stay faithful and really pick one thing that I was interested in for each session and stay with it. And for the most part, I did. I went to only one session for all of them except for the last block when I started out with Joanne Fernandez, and then I went to Andy. But that was, the plan. I just wanted to go there to support them, and then have a conversation with Andy, which I thought was terrific. I'd take any excuse to talk to him for an hour.
Yeah. I did that after lunch a little bit. I did the same thing. I wanted to make sure that I actually got to sessions and stayed in sessions. And I got to a couple of different ones after lunch and stayed in those. Was that Andy's after lunch? I stopped by him.
Yes. He was the last session. Yeah.
Yeah, I stopped by him, and then I did my own too. And I had a great group. I only had 4 people, but like I said, I think it's about the people who want to be there. And even if it was one other person, it would have been great.
Sure.
I think that is definitely something that if I were, as we get ready to do ours for Superintendent's Conference Day, while that might be a worry, other people are going to do sessions that no one comes to. I think we shouldn't worry about that. Even like I said, even if you had one person, I think it would be a great experience for them, and they'd get a lot out of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Danielle, are you jumping on with us?
She's trying.
See her picture.
Something didn't happen.
I don't know if that's on her end or on our end. So I don't think that that's an issue. I wonder that I'm not sure how many sessions we would do for Superintendent's Conference Day. Probably at least 3, right? We show up here at 7:30 for these things.
Right. So you figure there's some introduction. Well, breakfast until 8, introduction at 8:30. And then if the first session is at 8:45 to 9:45, and then another one from 10 to 11.
People need time to network and
Danielle.
figure out. Hi, Danielle.
Hi, Greta. Good morning. How are you? I'm good. How are you? I'm good.
We really needed you in this chat because now Joe and I are both going to put you on the screen. We don't have to look at each other. Well, I don't know about Joe. I was enjoying looking at him, but I want to get. I want
only the 2 of you?
So far, I don't know. I keep inviting Craig. I went over to Twitter to remind him. Maybe something came up and he can't make it.
Who's this guy, Craig?
Craig Badura. We're on a YouTube too. We're national right now. People across the whole world are watching us. Craig, I found him. I reached out to people on Twitter. I said I'm looking to connect with someone who has done a district level EdCamp. So he said he's done a number of them. He's done 3. Craig got over 4,000 followers. So he seems like he's really been connected for a while. Joe and I were throwing around ideas for a district level EdCamp and what might be some differences in the issues we'd have to keep in mind. We were saying we'd probably do 3 slots. People show up here at 7:30 for Superintendent's Conference Day. So we do the first session at 9.
Or even 8:45 to 9:45, and then give them 15 minutes. Right? They like breaks, so give them 15 minutes in between, and then do.
We'd have to do 11. We'd have to do an intro like Danielle did. We'd have to do an intro. Right. Do an orientation. We have to do everything the same. Somebody's got to do the computer board, but we've got a nice core group of people here who could do that work. We had about 7, 8, 10 people. And Cantiac had a good showing too. So we have a lot of Jericho people who can help with the organization of the day, the board, the stickies, the computer.
Definitely.
Maybe Orchard can help us a little bit, right, Danielle?
Say that again?
Orchard could show me how she set up the board.
You mean the digital board?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It was just a document of links to different Google Docs, that's all. Actually, you should speak to Chris Cowder because I believe he had an idea, a simpler idea for setting up the board.
Like, what was it? What did he say?
Something about a Google Doc and creating bookmarks using one large Google Doc for all of the different sessions and just creating bookmark links within that Google Doc.
Yeah, I heard Chris say that. I'm just afraid would it get glitchy. I've noticed when a ton of people bomb the same Google Doc, it does get a little glitchy.
All right, you'd have to talk to him about that. I don't know.
We tried to do that for the Schools to Watch. Remember, Joe, the Schools to Watch rubric, people were all putting evidence on it at the same time.
It might have something to do with using the same Google Doc within the same IP address, which obviously would still be happening. So you could talk to him about that. But otherwise, Audra just used different Google links to different Google Docs to create the menu.
You know, all right. You know, it could be an issue, and I have to speak to Barbara about it. Might be our Wi-Fi. It is very device-driven. One person on the survey for yesterday's EdCamp faculty commented that they had a lot of computer problems, and by the time they really got on board, they were pretty behind in what people were doing in the session.
I'm surprised to hear that, but I think we could mitigate that by putting out the help desk tip, or whatever they're called these days, how to get onto the Wi-Fi, how to configure the proxy server and things like that, and tell people, make sure that your device is working so that you could back channel, so that you could take advantage of. And, you know, the people who have some techno savvy will be able to do it. And then we could either set up a table or a kiosk or just make an announcement at the introduction that if you're not, you know, test your Wi-Fi now, and if you're not on, go to the table in the whatever for help.
Yeah, you know what, Joe? What we could do, I was going to say, I don't know how many, there's a lot of teachers that don't have, they're just not device-driven. But what we could do...
That's correct.
We definitely have enough on our carts to arm every man, woman, and child in the district with an iPad that day. We have enough.
Yes.
We would plug in the carts overnight, put them in that art gallery up there.
Yep.
We'll just come in and take a device and get going. If you don't have your own device, we will give you one.
That's a good idea. Definitely.
You know, and then we also could test our Wi-Fi for if we host EdCamp next year here.
Right.
We'll be able to see how reliable our Wi-Fi is in different classrooms. But we're doing that upgrade now, so it'll be a lot better next year than it is now.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Certainly be more comfortable with an air-conditioned auditorium also.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
That'd be nice.
Danielle, we're doing a major overhaul in our auditorium, and this would be a great, if we do EdCamp here next year, that'd be one of the first projects we do there.
Yeah. Dawn, what about back to the faculty, the superintendent's conference day, hashtag and back channeling?
Oh, yeah. Well, then, too.
Jericho SCD or something like that?
I'm sorry, Don, what was your question? I had a student in here.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just saying we're redoing our whole auditorium, and it'll be ready by next year.
That's great.
Brand new.
Yeah.
They're bombing it. They're hitting it hard over the summer. That could impact us to put it back maybe, for last week of September, first week in October.
I do think we should get out of the September month. I know we'll talk about this at a later date, just to avoid the homecomings. And, of course, looking at the calendar, we'll have to avoid all the Jewish holiday time. And, you know, September, October, you know, might be busy months. So.
Right. But I think the further we get from the beginning of school, and if we could stay in the sweet spot between the opening in September and, you know, the week before Thanksgiving, that's probably...
That's a good time. The opening of school is a good time. We just have to avoid all these other complicated dates at the beginning of school.
But maybe even pushing it back a couple weeks to first 2 weeks of October, somewhere in that neighborhood.
That would be great.
Yeah. What do you think about, and this is something I'd love to ask Craig, and we'll see if we can make this session up with him. How much does the fact that, hey, I'm working, you know, I punched in does that affect the vibe at an ed camp? You know, how much does that lower the enthusiasm for the event? I don't know. That's something I'm curious about. I wanted to ask Craig. I wonder what else you'd want to know from somebody like him who's done this before.
Yeah. I don't know. I would hesitate to make assumptions about that. I think some people might find it a refreshing change from Superintendent's Conference Day. I get to choose. There are interesting things. It's all about, you know, teachers teaching teachers, and that's all to the good, and it might invigorate people. On the other hand, some might, I have to be here, I don't have to participate, you know, you can't make me learn. That's possible, but I'm hoping for part one of the answer rather than part two.
I think there's a lot of excitement in the board. I think the board is a big piece of it.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
And that, I think, starts to separate it from conventional PD. I think that, you know, God's in the details, and I think that the process of that board coming together becomes, something that people, you know, you start to get excited about.
I think, too, the difference between a district level ed camp and then an outside ed camp, too, is the outside people and the outside knowledge that they bring in, you know?
Definitely.
That's some of what creates the, you know, the added excitement, you know, of the day. I would wonder if you would consider opening it up to, you know, obviously teachers are teaching on that day, but maybe some of the others, like a Joe Ellen or a Tom Whitby, or, you know, maybe people who aren't necessarily teaching, but who might be interested in attending.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's a good idea, Danielle. I hadn't thought of that.
I love that. My only concern is that they would be the big draws, and they would sap off a lot of people from sessions.
Right.
Teachers were excited about.
They might be, but they might present, you know, they might be looking to present all day. You know, they might come there and look to present all day, you know.
Yeah.
No, we're going to have we'll have 4 slots. 9, 10, 11, and 1.
Right.
So we got 4 slots.
Right.
And
you know what else would be? I'm just thinking we could also, if there was another district doing Superintendent's Conference Day at the same time, doing 2 districts combined. That way there's fresh blood, new people, you network a little bit. That'd be nice also.
Right.
I think we have some things. I think we're looking to pull this off on our own first and do that next year.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
I think that sounds like that's what in the conversations I've had with Barbara. I think we want to
guys, I have to sign off. I have to go over to Willits. So.
All right. Bye, Danielle. Nice talking to you.
Day. Sorry that it's only the 2 of you, but you guys keep it.
Thanks, babe. Have a good day. Thanks for joining us.
Sure, bye.
No, that would be awesome, though. Could you imagine, like, the Tuesday after Labor Day there's no more school and no more Superintendent's Day? It's just massive ed camps.
Yeah, that's a great vision.
North Nassau, South Nassau, and Western Suffolk and Eastern Suffolk, you know, and just pick a place and go.
Yeah, I think that's all. If we had a small district that would join us even now for this first one, I'd like to do it that way this time. But I understand how you're kind of putting yourself out there.
Yep.
If we if we get involved with another district, and I get it. You know, I don't want it to be an epic fail either.
No, of course.
But you and I are energized from Saturday. I think we're feeling like it's a. I think there's something about the protocol that can't fail. It's almost foolproof.
Yep. Well, the only pitfall I see is the board. I mean, you have to have people who are willing to get up and share and want to teach and want to learn. And if people are hesitant, and especially if it's their first experience and it is, you know, it's a professional obligation rather than opting in, that might be a hindrance. But I think that we've guarded against that well. We all have something in the box ready to go if the board doesn't fill. But it's the first go-around, and I expect people to be hesitant at first.
What do you think about the idea of putting out a Google form for people to let us know in advance, like, this is what I'll put on the board next week?
I don't know. I mean, that it makes it feel like a little.
Does that violate the
unconference, you know? But on the other hand, having a lunch and learn about EdCamps, what to expect, how does it work, in the weeks before at each school, that's not a bad idea. And and psych the people who attend that up to present something. Think about it.
We
Think
don't
about what you
it's actually only the high school and the middle school. It's the elementaries are booked that day. We're just doing it with high school, secondary. But I think Barbara should involve. I think she should definitely involve the aides and the LC instructors, if not
Yep.
if not the clericals. I think it should be all in. It should be all in.
Yeah.
That day. And
I
think
don't know if there are labor management issues there or not, but
yeah, we'll have to look at that. But
Yeah.
Again, the novelty, throwing additional people in, that's cool.
definitely.
Are you turning the volume up on your YouTube or something? I'm hearing them.
No, I have no volume. I'm checking my Twitter feed.
Okay.
I just got something about this 35 most from Wibkey, the top 35 ed tech influencers. So
Oh yeah.
push that out to the Twitter newbies.
Is Joanne Fernandez?
What's that?
Joanne Fernandez on that?
Not next year.
Right.
Richard Byrne, Vicky Davis, Larry Ferlazzo, Jerry Bloomgarden, Zoli Honig, I don't follow him. Jeff Dunn, I don't follow him. Tom Whitby, John Robinson, Eric Shaniger, I don't know him. Angela Watson, don't know her. McCusker, Shannon Miller, Beth Holland, Andrew Ang, Karen Cater, Susan Patrick. I follow a lot of these, not all of them. Kevin Corbett, Steve Anderson, Justin Tart, David Andrade.
Is Tony on there?
What? No. Steve
Yeah, no,
Wheeler, I can call him.
I'm canceling my subscription to Twitter.
I'm not paying for this.
I'm outraged. If Tony's on there, I want my money back.
Agreed.
I want my Twitter premium subscription, which in 5 years we're going to be doing. We're going to be spending $100 a year on Twitter.
It'll be a tax write-off. This is a professional account. I will allow the IRS to split the cost with me.
A professional, that an upgrade's coming. I don't know what it'll allow you. Yeah, with the upgrade, you'll be able to stream copyrighted music.
Oh, right. For a nominal fee.
They won't threaten to strip you of your account. And they can be parent. I'm thinking about the books on my desk. Do they have titles that they're not allowed to see? Like, what the hell is it that YouTube's picking up that I can't show?
Probably the music. I think you're right.
I know it is. Because it shut it down that day twice, and so I kind of remember.
Yep. All right, Don.
Well,
this has been very enjoyable. However, I want to get on that thing. The thing from yesterday afternoon. The thing.
You got a thing?
Yeah. The guy with the thing.
You going to see the guy with the thing?
I am. All right. I'm signing off. I will speak to you later.
Bye. Always a pleasure.